Don't touch that, Larry. Larry, don't touch that. Larry! What'd I just say, Larry?
Hi Clashers, Brazonic from Spartans with a LoGoWiWi guide. So this is what we call it, it's just GoWiWi with back-end loons. And we're aiming for 3 stars. It's good for ensuring the 2 stars while still giving a chance of 3 stars. So in situations where we can't risk going all out for a GoHo or GoLaloon, it's a nice sort of middle ground where we're still aiming for 3 stars, but we're also making sure we get the 2 stars. And we're generally looking for fairly open bases with GoWiWi. This one's perfect. It's got an internal section which is pretty much unprotected by the defences on the outside ring. So we're going to try and send the GoWiWi force into the centre, clear out that core, and then we've got balloons which we'll use to clear the defences around the side. And we don't need to get every defence with the balloons, but as many as possible to protect the remaining GoWiWi force. So the main difficulty with this particular one is getting everything that we want to go into the core in the core. So there's a big moat around it, so we've got to create a very wide funnel. And we'll do that by, we'll send in 2 golems, 1 to each mortar, and we'll send a giant and a balloon in towards each wizard tower. So the balloons will take down the wizard tower, the giants provide a bit of extra tanking, and they'll protect the wizards that are going to come in behind to create the funnel. And we're going to earthquake the walls by the town hall, so that'll open everything up. So the base will look something like this. At this point we'll send in a couple of wall breakers. We've got 2 spare wall breakers in case a giant bomb triggers there and kills the wall breakers. So at this point we're ready to send everything in. So we're sending 4 witches. We've got some CC giants. I just like using giants to do a bit more damage than golems do, and max giants, pretty powerful. And the rest of the wizards, heroes, basically everything apart from the balloons. We've got a few test barbs as well, so drop a few barbs to make sure you don't end up dropping your witches on the giant bomb. And it's quite important that this Dark Elixir storage doesn't go down too fast, because there's a big gap, and so we need this Dark Elixir storage to be pulling our troops in. Otherwise, once that's gone down, there's a danger that troops will go off to the sides rather than go into the core. We've got a Rage and a Heal, which will be deployed around the time the CC troops are coming out, and we've got a Poison for the CC troops as well. Hopefully we'll take down that core fairly quickly, and then it's a case of deploying loons around the outside. We'll probably have to wing it a little bit as to where we put those loons, but generally 2 per archer tower, 1 per the wizard tower, something like that. Kind of see where our GoWiWi force emerges and decide where we need our loons most based on that. So let's see how it went. So starting with the earthquake, to get all that down sorted, and then we'll send in our golems, so they're going to sit on the mortars. And our giant and balloon comes in on one side with wizards behind them, and same on the other side. So now the wizard towers are going to go down, and the wizards are working on creating that funnel. What goes slightly wrong here is our golems have killed those mortars a little bit too early. So that golem on the right hand side has wandered up to the archer tower. The other one though was presumably slightly further away from the archer tower, so that one stayed. And now we're sending in everything. The Dark Elixir storage did its job, so it has reordered everything in almost. A few skeletons, but other than that. And that golem that was on the side did do a fair bit of tanking for the expo anyway. And now we've got Rage and Heal down for the Clan Castle troops. And this core is pretty much down now. We're going to get the last of the air defences down shortly. And then we can start deploying our balloons. And it looks like pretty much everything is going to emerge on the east side. So we send a few balloons to deal with the stuff on the west side, and a few to help out on the east as well. And now there's basically nothing left. We've still got a lot of wizards left up. We've got our heroes up. We've still got certainly got skeletons. I'm not sure there's any witches. I think the mortar might have got the witches. But there's only a handful of defences left. We've still got the golem and a few giants tanking for everything up in the north. And a huge amount of DPS still alive behind it. So these few defences in the west corner just not going to cause us any problem. And it's just a case of whether we've got enough time, and I think there was plenty of time, if I remember rightly. And it must have been almost every wizard. I think every wizard bar one or two must have survived, so kept everything protected very nicely, which is what witches are good for. Right, so let's look at another one. So this one's by Anna, and a similar sort of base, very open, and a big ring that really suits GoWiWi. And this one, basically the funnel's already made for you, and there's no real difficulty funneling at all. It's all ready made, so we're just going to send GoWiWi straight up through the north. I think there were 6 witches in this one, because we didn't have to spend much in terms of troops of creating a funnel, so we could bring a couple of extra witches. And right, so earthquake there, I initially thought it was a bit odd, but 127, so remember that time. So I thought at first when I was watching this, I wasn't sure why not a jump really, but actually as time ticks by we'll find that the earthquake was quite worthwhile. So everything's now going through the core. We've got a rage down to help speed up that process. Clan Castle Hound's been killed, and now all the air defences are down, so we can start sending in our loons. So I know let's send in all the loons on the northwest side. So that, and which I think was a good idea. So there's more tank left on the east side. So now finally all the stuff is coming out of that core, and that is at 32 seconds remaining. So it's at almost a minute, and so the jump would have worn off before they got out. So I think the earthquake there was good value. And then a little haste here I quite like to speed up the balloons and make sure the last few defences. And there's a lot left actually. I think probably would have got the 3-star without those last few defences going down to the loons. That's a very nice attack there by Anna for 3-star. And so another one here by Gamma. And this one's a bit less ideally suited to GoWiWi at first glance, so it's much more compact. And GoWiWi likes a nice open base. But this one is actually okay. There is kind of a little moat around it, and that effectively means the defences are a bit too separated. If everything was in one big ring around the core, then the problem is when you get your GoWiWi force into the core, literally everything on the base is firing inside it. And so you tend to find your witches and your golems go down very fast, and you kind of run out of DPS. And the way people seem to deal with that is to deliberately send a few witches or a golem or heroes round the side as well. So you've got some defences firing inside. You've basically got forces on the inside and the outside, and so the defences can't target both sides. But that seems to be a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You need a bit of luck on timing. So the way Gamma goes about this, he notices basically on the west, these 4-point defences in the west corner basically are protected by absolutely nothing inside the base. So if we just send a golem and a few wizards, they're going to empty those 2 little sections very easily for practically no cost. You're just going to lose a bit of tank on your golems. And then we can sort of send the rest of our GoWiWi force through the west side with a jump spell instead of earthquake, just in that there's no real reason not to take jump. They're just going to go straight through there, so they're not going to need a long time, and you just kind of wasting a spell here using 4 earthquakes. So they're going to go straight into the core, and the core's quite dense, so with our extra spell we've got 2 rages instead of 1, and a heal and a poison for their clan castle troops. So our aim is to wipe out all of that core, and then we've just got the point defences and the mortar in the east left over, and at this point we've got 9 balloons, so we can send targeted balloons into the remaining defences, and as long as they get in quick enough and we've still got some DPS left inside to help with cleanup, should be a 3-star. So let's see how this one went. So the golem came in on the southwest side first, then the northwest, and wizards behind, and there's nothing really that can go wrong here. So they're working on the defences in those little compartments, and that's all gone well. Only level 2 golems, you know, so it's not a maxed out attack by any means. So now the witches, wizards all coming in and bulking, and the jumps down, so everything's basically now going straight into that core, and Teslas have popped. So we've got a rage down and a heal in front of the rage, so once those CC troops are down, we've got a heal to heal everything back up. And then we've got one more rage to help clear out that core. Now, there is a lot of DPS coming in. There's a lot of splash damage, which is making things hard for the witches. And it is taking time to get through this core. So Gamma starts deploying his loons before the air defences go down, which I think was important. I think there was too much DPS coming into the core. I think if he'd have waited for the air defences to all be down, I don't think there'd have been enough left in the core to clean up. So as it is, he times it well. The balloons take a bit of fire from the air defences, but they make it through. And now basically got a few spare cleanup wizards around the outside, and Archer Queen's still up, golem, skeletons, and it's just cleanup now. Really nice attack. And a good example of, so I don't think that was a guaranteed 3-star by any means, but it was a nice safe 2-star and well executed, got the 3-star sorted. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you can't afford to go for a risky 3-star attempt and risk the 1-star. Okay, so one more, another mine. It's similar to the first one I did, but it does illustrate an issue you have to think about when you're looking at your funnel. So I go in a kind of a similar way to how I did before, with a golem on each side, wizards behind, an extra giant to help with a bit of extra tanking. So I created what looks like a very wide funnel here, and I was sending in a few balloons to quickly clear out those defences that basically aren't protected by anything air. And those balloons, the archer towers are actually hitting the golems, so those balloons are going to do kind of extra duty and get the archer towers down as well. And now the issue is when these gold storages go down, basically everything that can fire over walls doesn't go inside, or a lot of it goes around the outside and targets those mortars instead of going into the core. So it doesn't matter, I get enough into the core, so I've got my rage and heal down, and that's dealing with their clan castle troops. And this core is going down fairly smoothly, and I've ended up with a little witch force on the west side. So I start my loons, clear that archer tower out in the east, and also one of the cannons, and then my remaining 4 loons I think I send in on the northwest, and those kind of back up those witches that are going round. And basically I think the loons are pretty much going to get all of these defences down in the north section. So everything that's left is now clean up, and there's just plenty of it left. And these aren't good bases. You don't want sort of massively spread out bases like this. That's it. Hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching.